Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about the major topic that is peripheral nervous system. In biological basis of behavior, we were discussing about the nervous system, and in nervous system there are two types of nervous system, that is central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. So central nervous system, it is mainly the core area, the center area, and the outer portion is peripheral nervous system. So in this video we'll be mainly talking about the peripheral nervous system, and if you want to know about the central nervous system, please see the previous video which is already uploaded in this channel. Peripheral nervous system. So peripheral nervous system is one of the two components that make up the nervous system, because nervous system is made of central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Nervous system or peripheral nervous system connects the outer portion of the body, that is periphery, with central nervous system. Peripheral nervous system is like a keyboard, or you can say it as monitor and a printer that passes information in and out on a computer. Why? Because from keyboard we provide the input, and from monitor we give the output, and from the printer also we give the output. So peripheral nervous system act like the keyboard, monitor and printer that passes information in and out on a computer. So the peripheral nervous system, they contain 31 pairs of spinal nerves and 12 pairs of the cranial nerves. So peripheral nervous system is not protected by vertebral column and skull or by blood-brain barrier. Because of this, it is exposed to toxins and mechanical injuries. What does peripheral nervous system do? Its major function is it connects the central nervous system to organs, limbs, and the skin. It allows brain and spinal cord to receive and send information to other areas of the body parts. It carries sensory and motor information to and from the central nervous system. Also, it regulates involuntary body functions like heartbeat and breathing. Talking about the types of peripheral nervous system, it is divided into two major parts, that is somatic nervous system and autonomous nervous system. Let's talk about the somatic nervous system at first. The activities that are related to the muscles that control the movement of body are regulated by the somatic nervous system. Here we need to understand that whatever the activities that are related to muscles that control the movement of body are regulated by the somatic nervous system. Also, somatic nervous system carries the information that receptor receive from the environment to the spinal cord, brain, and passes back information to the brain. As you can see in this figure also, your boy is touching the flame of a candle. Now, definitely he is sensing the heat, right? So what is happening here? The sensory receptors or the sensory neurons, it passes messages to the spinal cord and to the brain. And what happens here is when the message is transferred to the brain, now brain commands or asks our body part to respond, as heat can harm the body, the flame can harm the body. So immediately this guy needs to remove his hand. So what happens again? This message is transferred to the sense organ through the motor neurons. So it is called voluntary system, as information passed is planned and it's by our own will. Like when I write, my eyes scan the words and pick up the material. So it is the voluntary system. So afferent knobs help to convey data to the central process and formulate, and so on. Efferent knobs, they send the message back to the sense organ. The next nervous system here is autonomous nervous system and peripheral nervous system. So I already said there are two nervous system in peripheral nervous system, that is somatic, which we have already discussed, and we are going to learn about autonomous nervous system. So as its name says, it derives its name because of its self-control nature of self-regulating and autonomous process. This handles the bodily functioning of the heart, blood vessel, glands, lung, etc. For example, I'm talking about the autonomous nervous system in this video, but inside my body, blood is flowing, my heartbeat is running. So you can see that I'm not giving any instruction to autonomous nervous system. It is acting on its own. That means it works without our will and awareness. That's why it is called involuntary system. While somatic nervous system, it is voluntary system where we plan and work according to our own will. So autonomous nervous system has also two divisions, and they are sympathetic divisions and parasympathetic divisions. So here you can see the figure of autonomous nervous system as well. Here we have discussed about the sympathetic divisions and your parasympathetic divisions. So we will learn more about sympathetic and parasympathetic systems in next slide. So, sympathetic division, what does this mean? It constitutes the fiber coming from the spinal cord in thoracic and lumbar region. So, as you have also learned about the spinal cord in previous video, and if you have not seen, I suggest you to see central nervous system where I have discussed about brain and spinal cord. And when you know about the division of a spinal cord, you will it will be more easier to learn about the sympathetic division. So, as it says, it constitutes the fibers coming from the spinal cord in thoracic and lumbar region. It is active during our aroused state and prepares our body during emergency situation through flight and fight. So it does by increasing our heart rate, sugar levels, hormones to respond the emergency situation. For example, when you see a cobra, then you will be frightened and your sympathetic system raises and increases the blood levels and keeps you in calm condition quickly. So there is another technique to understand about the systematic division I'll be discussing in the upcoming slides. Next is parasympathetic division. So it falls into two parts, that is cranial and sacral region. It is above and below the sympathetic division. It works to store the body energy. It slows the process accelerated by the sympathetic system. Like as I said in previous slide, when we see a cobra, we feel afraid and we are scared over there. And what happens? Our heart rate increases, our glucose level increases. Now, if it is in that similar motion, definitely that will harm to our body. So it needs to slow down. That time parasympathetic division helps. So it tends to be active when we are calm and relaxed during our daily routine. So, I'm going to share one of the technique to remember the types of parasympathetic division and sympathetic division. Your para. So, para means, so your P for para, you can understand your P for peace. And your sympathetic as for sympathetic and as for stress. Now it will be much more easier for you to understand about the sympathetic and parasympathetic division, because when our body is very peace in peaceful mode, what happens to our body? And when we are very stressed, what happens to our body? So in parasympathetic division, we need to understand that we are in calm position, we are in peaceful zone. So what happens? Our pupil constrict, right? We feel relaxed. Our salivation occurs, airways constrict, heart rate slows down, stomach digest, intestine digest, occurs and bladder constrict, reproductive system increases blood flow. But in sympathetic division, when we are in a stress, what happens to us? Our pupils dilate. That means it's white. Our saliva is inhibited. That means we feel like there is no liquid in our mouth. Airways dilate, heart rate increases, our stomach inhibits digestion, liver releases glucose, glucose level is high, intestine inhibit digestion, kidneys release adrenaline, bladder relaxes, and reproductive system decreases blood flow. So this is the major difference between parasympathetic division and sympathetic division. And one should never forget that in parasympathetic division, the body is in calm mode, in peaceful mode, and in sympathetic division, it's in stressful mode. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you want to know more about this peripheral nervous system, you can go through the following links and understand more about the topic. So if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe this channel. Thank you so much.